going on, everybody? It is your boy Arrows here, and we're getting back on the Lorcana train. I know the TCG train is just everywhere these days. Um, anyway, we have a Lorcana deck profile here for you. I'm really excited. I actually built this. Well, this video is coming out next week. Maybe this week. It might come out this week. Who knows? Actually, no, maybe it'll come out this week. It'll come out this week. Well, I actually have been thinking about pushing like the Final Fantasy video back to like the next week to like really give it that oomph and give it that polish, because it's honestly going to be like one of the biggest videos I've ever made, which I'm super excited for. So we'll probably put this out on Friday instead. So what do we have for you guys today? So I built this deck for fun to play with my friends the other night, and I'm actually really enjoying it. So right now, this is going to be my new main deck. I'm going to show you guys what we have now, and I'm going to show you guys a bunch of the cards that we want to order to really help push this deck going forward. So let's get into it. I'm, of course, playing Amethyst Sapphire. I'm an Amethyst Steel. This is, like I said, a very, very rough version. We're going to go like by card cost for characters and so on and so forth. So we're going to do characters, items, actions, locations. So starting off, we have 4 copies of Chernobog's Followers. I love this card. It's such a good opening play. It's a 1 cost, 2/1, quest for 1. But when it quests, you can banish it to draw a card. Such a good card. Pardon me. Next, we're running 3 copies of Magic Broom. Whenever it's a 1 cost, 1/2. Whenever you play another character, you can banish this card and draw a card. So you quest with it, drop another character. New character can't quest anyway or do anything because we don't really run a lot of Russian here. Then we can banish this, draw a card. Fantastic. Rounding out, we're running 2 copies of Captain Hook. I have been thinking about 3 in here just because we are running 3 Smees. Spoilers. But I really like Hook. I think Hook Smee is a very strong turn combo if you don't draw into your Broom or your Chernobogs. I really enjoy it. Getting into our 2 drops. Oh, and his effect. Haha. He's a steal 1/2 challenger +2. So when he challenges a character, he gains +2. So it's important he can also run into locations, making it really cool with like the Fox, the Mim Fox. If you play it, rush it, you can take out some of those pesky 7-drop locations. Going into our 2 drops, we're playing 3 copies of Madam Mim Snake. 2 3/3 for quest for 1. When you play this character, you can bounce at a character on your side of the field. You can recycle a lot of really good cards. We're about to go into Mr. Smee. So you can recycle Mr. Smee, avoid the damage going on him, put him back down your next turn if you want. Entirely up to you. You can move around Pete's. You can do that. So we're playing 3 copies of Mr. Smee. 2-drop, 3/3, quest for 2. At the end of your turn, if he's exerted and you don't control a captain character, he takes 1 damage. I should have done this differently. I totally forgot I was running 4 of these. This is good. Getting into our 3 drops, we are running 4 copies of Pete. This card is still such a good disruption card, especially going against Steel Song, going against old Ruby Sapphire decks, being able to haul off those be prepared to really push yourself on the advantage. This deck wants to be super aggressive. So being able to play the Pete to slow down be prepared, songs that'll do damage to you to really get those extra turns of damage in are fantastic. So that's why we're running 4. We're also running 3 copies of Madam Mim Fox. Surprise, surprise. We're playing Mims for bounce. Amethyst, really good bouncing mechanics. I love them. We have 3-drop, 4/3, quest for 1. It has rush, so it can challenge the turn it's played. And then when you play this character, you either banish her or return a character from your field to your hand. Again, we bounce. We're going to get into some of the Merlins here. Bouncing Merlins is always a good time. Rabbit, Goat, or if we have to, this next one. Our final 3-drop for our characters, Merlin Crab. When you play him or when he's returned to your hand, one of your characters gain Challenger +3. Really good for some clutch plays of taking out stuff. The final build of this deck is going to have Calhoun in it. So we give her Challenger 3, take something out, get 2 lore. Fantastic. Going into our 4 drops, we are, of course, running 4 copies of Goat Merlin. 4-drop, 4/3, quest for 1. When you play it and when it leaves the field, gain 1 lore, so you can play it. Gain a lore on your next turn. You can quest with it, play a snake or a fox, bounce it back to your hand. If he gets banished in a be prepared, you gain the lore. We're also running 3 copies of Rabbit. 4 drop, uninkable, 2/3, quest for 1. When you play him and when he leaves the field, you get to draw a card. And we're also running, this is a cool little tech I'm really enjoying. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet because we didn't draw into it when we were playtesting yesterday with the guys. 1 copy of Merlin Shapeshifter. It is a 4 drop, inkable, 1/5, quest for 1. Whenever one of your other characters is returned to your hand from play, gain 1 lore. So this is going to quest for 2. If it's late game, you can drop in and do crazy stuff. You can bounce it back, a couple things back, and gain 3. Good card. Now, the sixes are where like a lot of these 6s aren't going to be here when the deck cycles through. They're mostly in here because in my area, we have a lot of my one friend plays Sherwood Forest. So he's got lots of things with Ward. Robin Hood, he plays Robin Hood, and he has lots of things with Ward. So it's nice to have like some of the damage cards that damage multiple things so you can get around that. And that's why we have 4 copies of Tinkerbell, Giant Fairy. 6 drop, 4/5, quest for 2. You can shift. We don't have any other smaller Tinkerbells in here yet. I might toy around with the 1/3 2 questing evasive. When you play it, all opponents' characters take 1 damage, and then when you banish a character in a challenge, you can choose 1 opponent, and it does 2 damage to it. Getting into our 6s, we have more 6s. We have 3 copies of Hercules, the Bodyguard Hercules. 6 drop, 6/5, quest for 2, has bodyguards. When it enters play, you can choose to exert it. Yes, exerted. We can have it come in exerted, and it as its bodyguard ability will activate. Bodyguard says if you're attacking anything on my side of the field, you have to attack the bodyguard first, and it has resist +1. This actually really came in handy last night in my games testing it because last night, I'm recording this on Wednesday. So last night on Tuesday, when we were playtesting with my friends, this really came in handy because I was able to eat an attack that would have gone somewhere else from my friend's 7/3 drop Red Hercules that had Russian Reckless. So good stuff. And into the 7s, these are definitely not going to be in the final build. And like I said, after we go through this deck profile, we're going to hop on to TCG Player, and I'm going to show you some of the cards that I want in the final build. So we're running 3 copies of Cinderella. She's a 7 drop. Honestly, at this point in time, I'm just using her for lore. I might actually replace her with like 2 more hooks and maybe another crab. 7 drop, shift 5, 5/5, quest for 3, has resist 2, so it's going to take 2 extra damage to do anything to her. So if you want to hit her for 3, you're only doing 1, and so on and so forth. Whenever you sing a song, she can attack ready chosen characters. So not bad. Getting into the items, at this point, we only have 4. That might change in later builds. 4 Fortispheres. What can I say about Fortisphere? Really good card. It's a 1 drop. When you play, you get to draw a card, and then you can pay 1, banish it, and give one of your characters bodyguard. Getting into our songs, and again, please preface that a lot of these songs won't be in the final build of this deck, but just for my area, they're just really good to have. 3 copies of Friends on the Other Side. It's at 3 costs, so you can either pay 3 or have a character of 3 or higher. Cost, tap to sing it. Draw 2 cards. We love drawing cards. This deck draws cards so well, and it's going to draw cards even better when we get to add in some of the stuff we want to add going forward. So, really good stuff. 3 copies of Let the Storm Rage On. 3 cost, uninkable. Deals 2 damage to chosen character. Draw a card. 2 copies of Strength of a Raging Fire. I'm really mad that I did not get more copies of these when they were cheap, because they are not cheap cards now. They're 3 cost and deal damage to a chosen opponent's character equal to the number of characters I have in play. We have a lot of 1 drops, so it's really easy to drop a couple 1 drops, play this, and get some big damage on board to an opponent's character. We're running 2 copies of And Then Along Came Zeus. I do want to up this to 3. This is such a good card. To deal straight up 5 damage to any character or location is really good. We're running 2 copies of A Whole New World. Again, this probably will not be in the final build. I just don't know what I would put in instead at this point. Card draw is really good. It's a 5 cost song, uninkable. You discard all players discard their hands and draw 7 new cards. This is really good. This isn't so good in colors I find that aren't Steel Song or don't have Sapphire, because in Sapphire decks, if you ramp well enough, you can be playing this on your turn 4. So it's like one of those situations. But card draw is usually pretty good. I usually don't care about some of the things that we discard here. Obviously, we won't play this when I have like goats or stuff, but I find this in this deck with all your bounce mechanics you want, it is a little bit more situational for when it's beneficial for you. And 3 copies of Grab Your Sword. Again, lots of ward in my the people that I play test, lots of things that we want to do, lots of board presence, so we want to do damage all across the board to them. 2 damage to each opposing character is pretty good. And into our locations, we're running 2 copies of the Queen's Castle. I'm actually toying around with Thebes because when we were playtesting, I noticed I was taking out a lot of characters in challenges with like the Fox. Thebes is a 2 cost less, and it's going to give me 2 lore when I challenge. So I could play it, move something there, and automatically get 2 lore when I take something out. But that is the initial rough draft of the deck. We're actually going to pop over to TCG Player just because it's the easiest place to search for cards, and show you guys some of the other things we want to use. So let's get into that right now. All right. So it only makes sense to start off talking about the card that we talked about in the video, and that is Calhoun. If you guys don't know, Calhoun came out in set 6 and automatically made a huge difference in a lot of Steel's a little bit poorer matchups. Calhoun is a 2-drop uninkable, 3/2, quest for 1, and she has resist 1. So whatever you do in damage, you're going to -1 from it. So if you hit her with Grab Your Sword, it's a -1. It only does 1. Her ability, though, is phenomenal. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, gain 2 lore. So, like I said, when we could play something to give her challenger. Crab gives a challenger 3, which is going to increase her attack to 6, which is going to let her take out a lot of big threats. Yes, she'll probably get taken out in the process, but we get that 2 lore, which honestly makes or breaks a lot of games. We're also looking at some copies of Giant Cobra. Giant Cobra is from the new set. I cannot pronounce it. Arcazazia's Island. Giant Cobra, it has the vanish mechanic, so whenever an opponent chooses this character for an action, they banish them. I banish them, but when it's a 3-drop, 4/4, quest for 1. Really good stat line. It was going to eat up those cards. We do have to be careful because like some of those smaller cards that will target it will take it out, like Cannon Fire, Fire the Cannons, Let the Storm Rage On, stuff that wouldn't normally take it out if it didn't have that banish mechanic will take it out. When you play this character, you may choose and discard a card to gain 2 lore. You have some uninkables in your hand you don't really want to play. Banish them, gain 2 lore off them. If the Giant Cobra lives on your next turn, you get the quest again. That's 3 lore. Fantastic. And it's also fair to point out that your bouncing mechanics don't trigger vanish. So when you can bounce it with Snake, put it back in your hand, play it again, discard another card, gain 2 lore. Really good card. This is my family. 2-cost song, so we're gonna be able to sing it with Smee. We can sing it with our snakes if we want to. It's at first glance, it doesn't seem good, but you get to gain a lore and draw a card. And when you can sing it with your snakes or your Smees, then you have like a really good play here to get in some extra lore that can come out of nowhere. Pretty sure I'm not. Oh yes, I did it. Beautiful. Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom. I totally butchered the card name. This is another really good card. It's a 2-drop uninkable, so we're not going to be running a huge amount of them. Gain 2 lore. So if you need 2 lore to win and you don't have any characters, but you draw this, boom, there's your 2 lore. You win the game. Congratulations. This I'm not 100% sure on. I really like this card, but I don't know. It's a 7-drop. It's uninkable. Donald Duck, the Flustered Sorcerer. It's a 5/6 quest for 3. Your opponent needs 25 lore to win the game. Like he's 6 body, so he's gonna stick around for at least a turn to keep your opponent from doing stuff. And he quests for 3. So I'm not 100% sure if he's gonna make it into the final version of the deck, but I do really, really like him. the White Rose, Jewel of the Garden. Another really good card. It's a 3-drop, inkable, 3/3, quest for 1. But when you play this character, you gain 1 lore. You have a bunch of things that bounce characters, so you can play this, bounce it, gain a lore, play it again, gain another lore. We're doing a lot of cool lore gain with this deck. That is like the really good idea that I have. This the one that's nope, not that one. This one. Nope, not that one. Whatever. I can't find it. We'll just do this. Where is he? Where is this guy right here? Newly crowned. I'm also thinking about this. During your opponent's turn, whenever one of your illusion characters is banished, you may return that card to your hand. It could be good, but honestly, if this is on the field and a vanish is on the field, they're just going to target this and then take out the vanish. And honestly, I don't really think there's a lot of enough good vanishing cards that do really good stuff outside of the Cobra to really merit it right now. So, this is some things that I'm thinking about. And then lastly, we are looking at Billy Bones. 3 cost, 2/2, quest for 2. When this character is banished, you can banish a chosen item or location. Items, they're not really a huge deal right now. I mean, most of them will get blown up by like Hiram or other ways to like do stuff, like being able to pop a Queen's Castle, a McDuck Manor, a Thebes, or any other location that could be giving you a bit of an issue is really good. And he quests for 3. He quests for 2 on a 3/3, which is not terrible at all. I don't think there's anything else that I am thinking of. I think that's all the cards that we were looking at. Calhoun. Oh, Diablo. And lastly, Diablo, Obedient Raven. Another 1-drop, 0/1, quest for 1. But when he's banished, you may draw a card. Card draw is always good, and especially in decks that don't have a lot of consistent version of it. So definitely love that. And we could also, if speaking about card draw, we could also talk about, where is he? Right here. We can also talk about the Genie, Wish Fulfilled. No uninkable 4, quest for 2. When you play this character, draw a card. He has Ward, which is going to be really cool because if you want to do stuff with him, you could use him to get around characters that have Ward. Not Ward, sorry, Evasive. That you can use him to get around characters that have Evasive to deal some damage to them. Just some more ideas that I'm working with. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to order some stuff for this on Friday. We're going to get some new cards coming in on hopefully next week. We're going to record a mail video. We're going to record an updated version of this. And hopefully, we'll be able to get on Pixelborn and get some games going on for it too. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ding the notification if you want to be alerted to any of the amazing TCG videos we put out. I have a big Final Fantasy TCG video coming out. I was going to put it out this Friday, but I think I'm going to push it back and put it out next week. So I want to do some more fine tuning to it. So I'm really excited for that. Hopefully you guys will be too. I actually think I want to try and like record a turn between 2 players for the end of the video just to show you guys what happens in the Final Fantasy TCG. So we might actually push that back to next week, and I'm really excited for it. I think it's honestly one of the biggest videos I've ever done. Since we're getting back on the Lorcana train, we're going to be hopefully trying to keep up with putting out videos for the new reveals coming out for Reign of Jafar. I'm going to try to get some stuff going on for Final Fantasy, putting out videos talking about some of the new releases coming out from there. But yeah, I'm really excited. Hopefully you guys are too. Also, don't forget to head over to Arrows Gaming, my main YouTube account. We are putting out a lot more content there now. We're doing a Final Fantasy 8 playthrough for our JRPG 2025. You guys follow me on Twitch. You guys know we're playing JRPGs all year. We got a video out. We got a new video series out there doing Final Fantasy 8 things. Go check that out. I ask a question at the end of every episode. This week's question for that is, what is your favorite Final Fantasy track? Really excited to hear everybody's responses for that. And yeah, Don't forget to tune in. Twitch TV, you guys know the drill. Twitter, you guys know the drill. We're Arrows Gaming all over the place. Have yourselves a great day, my friends. Stay safe out there.